Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem F. Michael Fletcher alongside my boys, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock. We are in the house. You guys know how we do this on Wednesday night. AEW Dynamite, NXT 2.0, and I might actually sprinkle in a little something here tonight. I might give you a little bit of the G1 Climax Tournament going down in Japan right now, give you the latest updates, what we got going on. So I might do that tonight for you guys. So just a little added bonus, a little something. But let's start off with NXT as always. Went going down last night at the CWC, the Capital Wrestling Center, and we started off with JD McDonough going up against Cameron Grimes. JD McDonough wins the match in 13 minutes and 25 seconds. Damn, this was a great way to jump it off. Great action, great back and forth battle. JD McDonough definitely gets the victory here. This is Jordan Devlin. You all know him from NXT UK, but now he's in the States, and now he solidifies himself as a legitimate threat for the NXT title and for Braun Breaker. But this solidified a lot of things. First off, it also pushes Cameron Grimes closer and closer to being a heel. But if you notice during the show, Joe Gacy wants a part of Cameron Grimes. No! Don't you dare do this. Cameron Grimes does not. No. It's already bad enough. Joe Gacy sunk his teeth into the Grizzled Young Veterans. He does not need another established NXT star for his brigade. This is no. I know what's about to happen. This is not what we need. We already have Tony D'Angelo and the Dawn family. We have Diamond Mine, but it looks like there's cracks in that armor on Diamond Mine. Legado Fantasma has joined the Dawn family. We don't need another stable and one that is kooky and is mysterious and is almost pushing to the envelope as Joe Gacy is. Gacy is one of the most weirdest dudes on the NXT roster. And now you're about to give him Cameron Grimes, and you already added him because I think it was last night we got the big reveal that the two men who've been in the mask, who's been basically hiding, was literally the Grizzled Young Veterans. And they were literally baptized to this new clean-cut looking role as basically, you know what? I don't care if anybody gets offended. They got the New York Yankee treatment. Clean-shaven, shorter hair. They basically look like members of the freaking New York Yankees. So, nothing to say. This was a 3.5 star to 3 3/4 of a jump off. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Ain't nothing wrong with that Yankee lifestyle, but anywho, the two worked a fairly traditional face versus heel dynamic as the Irish Ace targeted the leg of the richest man in NXT. And what made this work was the steady pace. Grimes got his chance to fire back and nearly built to a win before the cumulative damage of McDonough's attack was too much. The right man won as he aims toward challenging Braun Breaker. Grimes continues to fall into a slump, but his next story looks to be on the horizon as Joe Gacy was shown watching closely during this match. And MF is absolutely right. Great matchup here. You could most certainly make an argument for fight of the night here. That's how good this was. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I 100% agree with you. Grizzled Young Veterans under the tutelage of Joe Gacy. Wow. Color me surprised. I mean, talent wasted. That's all there is to say on that. You're wasting that talent. I mean, because we knew how good those guys were. They were fine the way they were before. And now you're going to have them be, a part of Joe Gacy's Fruit Loop troupe? Yeah, no, honey. No, thanks. The three of us, we're the only team we're a part of is Team Bring It. Yeah, McMahon, McMagma, whatever you want to call him. Absolutely. He's 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if Blubber Love had something to do with it too. But nonetheless, the three of us, myself, MF, and Bullock, we're a part of Team Bring It. We ain't ever going to be part of no damn Fruit Loop troupe like Joe Gacy has. Get the you-know-what out of here with that. So,
and I'll lay the smackdown on Joe Gacy's Rudy Poo candy ass.
Oh, my brother, testify. So that's it, right? So that's it for that. But just wanted to get that off my chest. But other than that, hey, that was a banger of a match. Great way to start it off. 3.5, 3 3/4. Like I said, you could easily make an argument for fight of the night here. We won't be mad at you. So that's all there is to say here. Michael Bullock, fantastic match, absolutely. But I cannot believe the Grizzled Young Veterans are now a part of this Fruit Loop troupe of Joe Gacy. And now, God forbid, if Cameron Grimes joins, good grief.
Yeah, if Cameron Grimes joins, I think you can pretty much say goodbye to Grimes. I mean, and what he's built in NXT since being part of the original brand. Because Joe Gacy will make him look like a total goof, just like he did with the Grizzled Young Veterans, which they should have been left alone as they were. But nope, Mr. McMahon, Mr. McMagma, and Blubber Love must have had a role in the change of them. So yeah, get the you-know-what out. And that's why I had to channel my inner Rock for this one. So yeah, 3.5, 3 3/4. I mean, definitely a good start off to this edition of NXT 2.0. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on to the next thing on NXT 2.0.
Roderick Strong going one-on-one with Damon Kemp, and it was Roddy winning the match in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony, you could say this was a little bit of that continuation of the explosion of the Diamond Mine, but Roddy's being that tough love teacher. Kemp is kind of the little student here. The teacher overpowered the student last night, but
MF, with all due respect, there's one thing that went down before this that definitely needs to be addressed. Cora Jade, hello.
I didn't want to go there. I did not want to start a fight.
Oh,
I did not want to start a rant. I was not looking for a fight, but by all means, go ahead. You brought it. You brought it to the table. Yeah. It's yours.
Yeah, because of the fact that because of what happened. I mean, no, there's not going to be any fight. No, absolutely not. But
I know there's going to be some rants, and that's what I was afraid of.
Well, more from Michael Bullock than anything else. But because this is his show. So, but I am going to say this. It was bookended. It was bookended by two great callbacks. First off, remember when Hulk Hogan turned heel, the NWO? He says, you got to tell these people to shut up if they want to hear what I have to say. And then the other callback, of course, Medusa, Alundra Blaze, WCW Monday Nitro, December 18th of 95, when she threw the then WWF Women's Championship in the trash in front of Eric Bischoff and Bobby the Brain Heenan and Steve Mongo McMichael. And yeah, but I know we usually don't go into promo segment and all that, and I understand that, and that's fine and dandy, but there are those rare times where certain promo segments have to be addressed, and this one has to be addressed. And I know Bullock wanted this to be addressed, so that's the only reason I brought it up. I would have gone with it, MF, but Bullock I know wants to get into this. So before I give it to him, I'm just gonna say it like this: Cora Jade is not the best promo. I will say that. but it is important to give her chances like this to test herself. Hopefully, the more chances she gets, the more she improves. This is her first chance as a heel, although MF, you did say she was a heel on the indie scene. And it will take time for her to settle. But it served its purpose. Jade made it clear she turned on her friend out of jealousy and outright disrespected the title she and Perez won together. Hopefully, when Roxanne Perez does return, she can talk about what the tag team titles mean to her. Otherwise, the image of the tag title in the trash remains an unfortunate chapter in the legacy of titles that have constantly struggled to shine. And the crowd was loud throughout this promo, making it hard for Cora Jade to speak. But that's the professional side of it, my analyst side of this. Now to my personal side of it. Now, this is not going to be a full-blown expletive rant. I know that's what you were worried about, MF, but don't worry. I'll keep it clean. Bullock, I don't know, but me, I am. I'll say it like this. If I was, a WWE, NXT, or whatever superstar, or anybody in the professional wrestling business who paid their dues, who won championships and put their bodies through hell and, go on the road for 200 plus days a year, be away from their families and the whole 9 yards. What Cora Jade did with that women's tag team championship belt and throwing it in the trash, a la Medusa, with the women's title in '95. She slapped, it was a slap in the face, a spit in the face, and more importantly, she urinated all over, the superstars and everybody, not just women, but men too, who put their bodies on the line and, go away from their families, all those days a year, and paid their dues, and all of those who gave their life so much that they can't even do anything anymore, severe injuries and everything else. That's what happened here. That's from the personal side of it. From the professional side, brilliantly done. But on the personal side, a slap in the face, a spit in the face, and a piss and a crap all over the superstars, men and women, who have, and Hall of Famers and legends, the whole nine, Bullet. That's what it is, the whole nine. And I hope you realize what you did there, young lady. I just hope that you ought to be ashamed of yourself for that. Because I mean, if I was a tag champion with either one of these guys and I turned my back on them, which I never will, but if I did, would I throw it in the damn trash? Hell no, I wouldn't. I would not, because I respect the business. I love the business. We, the three of us, we love this business. We respect this business. And obviously we can't be wrestlers because, we don't have that kind of ability, but this is our calling. And, this is what we do. And we're going to do it till we can't do it no more. And Cora, all I can say is, I don't know how, I hope you can live with yourself. I mean, are you going to be able to sleep at night? Are you going to be able to live with yourself after what you did? Because, I mean, to do what you did, I mean, you already know. Slap in the face and spit in the face and the whole nine. To all the legends and Hall of Famers, men and women who paved the way for you, came before you, paid their dues, and did what they did for our enjoyment and our entertainment. So I don't know what else there is to say. So, and I'm being nice. Bullock, on the other hand, he ain't gonna hold back. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm gonna say. So that's all I'm gonna say. So Corey, you better be grateful that I was nice about this. Well, so not much more to say here. Bullock, let's not go too crazy here.
Hang on. Let me say something, because I guess to find Anthony Bullock, give me a minute. I saw that I actually replayed it and saw the incident, so I know what you guys are talking about. And yeah, it was without a doubt one of the most disturbing scenes that you can see in wrestling. But the thing is about will she sleep at night? Will she do this? Like, is it going to be any big of an incident? To be honest with you, Anthony, this is nothing new. I mean, Cora Jade's done some very vile stuff. Like I said, if it comes to her indie work, she's just scratching the surface. If you thought what she did was horrible, no, that's nothing compared to what she could do. So, yeah, there is a disrespect. There was a very controversial thing that she did. But the thing is that you want to get her over as a heel. You wanted it to get her over in that type of situation. They did. Cora got massive heat on social media last night. I knew Bullock was going to go off, but there was some other people that I did not expect was going to go off went off. And they absolutely flipped, and they were not happy. Even some superstars went off on social media about Cora and what she did. So, yeah, in wrestling, here's the thing. You know how sacred in Mexico the lucha libre mask is. In any type of wrestling, a desecration, a disrespect of a championship belt, it doesn't matter what company you're in or in what part of the world you're in. It is by far one of the biggest no-nos you can do. Tesulia Naito, after winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, actually threw the belt on the ground minutes after winning the title, tossing it in the air and walking away with the belt on the ground. And the fans in Japan absolutely flipped, lost their minds. There was even death threats towards Naito for that. Honest to goodness. There is certain no-nos you do in wrestling. Throwing a belt or throwing it in the trash, something like that, is without a doubt one of the most disrespectful things you can ever do in wrestling. And Jade's is gonna live with that for the rest of her career and maybe for the rest of her life. Because a lot of people still talk about Medusa and what she did on that Monday Nitro, Florio, and you alluded to it, when she tossed the WWF title in the garbage. It's only apropos that when she got inducted into the Hall of Fame, that they were able to bring back the World Wrestling Federation Ladies Championship for it to be properly retired and given to the guys, and they have the belt in their warehouse of that archives. If you saw the A&E show, they do have the belt in possession now. That they got the belt now. So when Medusa brought it back from the dead, and she absolutely gave it up. The guys in the warehouse, the WWE warehouse in Connecticut, they got the belt now. They have it in possession. But now I'm just trying to get off myself. I'm trying to say whatever I can. That was messed up. It was horrible, unprofessional. I've been watching wrestling since '88. Florio, you've been watching it just almost around the same time. Bullock, I know you've been about maybe early 90s. Both of you guys were 90s. I started in '88. I've never, ever in all my years seen anything more disrespectful and more wrong than what she did last night. I could not believe my eyes. I was shocked. My jaw hit the floor. And there's nothing more to say about that. Michael Bullock, you've had literally 24 hours to think about that moment. What is your feelings about what went down last night?
Well, first off, Fletch, I gotta say, professionally, I mean, this is a really good way to really push Cora Jade's heel. I mean, this is a way to get her the massive heat that she's getting right now. I mean, it's going to take some time, but I think she'll really develop into a big time heel. Now, professionally, I mean, I've watched professional wrestling since the early 90s. I didn't watch the incident with Medusa when she trashed the women's title. I mean, I did see the highlights of it, but when I saw this last night, I mean, what Cora Jade did was one of the most disrespectful and disgusting things I have ever seen. I mean, not just women, but men who put their blood, that put their sweat, that put their tears and their heart into earning a championship. And she literally, absolutely literally spit in the face, not just of women, but of men who made those ultimate sacrifices to become, whether it's a tag champion or even a world champion or a champion of any kind in professional wrestling. Cora, you are without a doubt the most despicable and the most disgusting human being right now. The heat that is being thrown on you right now is rightfully justified. I mean, think of all the great women who've held championships. From not only current wrestlers, but Hall of Famers. Trish Stratus, Lita. I mean, so many great women of this industry, and you're basically saying what you accomplished means nothing to me. And even the men too who've won championships, all the great names, the new Hall of Famer, The Undertaker. I mean, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Triple H, so many great names. And you're basically saying this title or any title doesn't mean a damn thing to me, because right now it's all about me. You are a jealous, self-centered little bitch. And come hell or high water, you're going to get what's coming to you. Because not only you angered Roxanne Perez, but all the women, not just in NXT, but on the main roster, because they probably watched it last night and they're probably saying, I want a piece of that bitch right now. So if you got a problem with what the three of us just said, you know what I say? Too damn bad, bitch. When Roxanne Perez comes back, she is going to unleash hell on you. And quite frankly, personally, I am going to enjoy every single minute of it. And in closing, Fletch, before we move on, I'm going to use a quote, and this was at the end of the Bash at the Beach with when Hulk Hogan turned heel and joined the Outsiders. What Tony Schiavone said, and Florio, you know where I'm going with this. You know what he said. Cora Jade, you can go to hell. Straight to hell. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right. With that said, we had Brooks Jansen and Josh Briggs with Fallon Henley.
Well, now we can get to the Roddy Strong and Damon Kemp match.
You wanna get into it, guys? Okay.
Yeah, let's finish that.
And
All
Bullock
right.
started
So,
off.
uh,
And Bullock can start it off since I led off on that last thing.
that's fine. So 555 Bullock, it's yours. Roddy won.
Yeah, I mean it was a fine match. I mean it was short, but I'll give it about maybe 1.5 for the effort here. Um, but yeah, I mean we continue to see the implosion of Diamond Mind and Roderick Strong's being that tough teacher who not only being tough on Kemp but the Creed brothers and even Ivy Nile and Fletch. I think quite frankly, I mean somewhere down the line, Kemp, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile, they're going to be like, we've had enough of your toughness. We've done. I mean, they're going to probably want to part ways with this guy. So we'll see what happens. It's yours, Fletch.
It could have been a better match. I'll openly admit that it could have been a lot more better than what it was. It was solid for what it was worth. I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. At the end of the day, yeah, the right team won, the right man won it, I believe. I could give this about maybe 1.5 to 1 3/4. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Same here. I'll give it more. I'll give it more about 2.25 actually, because it was a fine short match that highlighted what Strong does well. He beat down and dissected his young opponent. The ending was well done, even if it would have been helped if Kemp got more offense beforehand. Roderick Strong still cares more about winning than helping his stablemates, and it seems more and more likely that even Kemp will turn on him. The Angelo family versus the Diamond Mine in an 8-man tag next week will be another test of that dynamic. So that's really all there is to say on that. So 2.25. Let's move on.
All right. With that said, now we're going to get into the next one. That was Brooke Jansen and Josh Briggs with Fallon Henley putting the NXT United Kingdom tag team titles on the line against Pretty Deadly, the winners of the bout in 8 minutes and 15 seconds, and still the NXT United Kingdom tag team champions, Jansen and Briggs. Look, solid fight, good matchup, good battle. When it was all said and done, I couldn't be any more happier with what they did. I thought it was a solid matchup than anything else. This was about 2.5 stars. So for me, solid battle, great match, and yeah, the right man won. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Right team won, yes. Fun title bout in which the difference in styles played into the story of the match. Pretty Deadly controlled the action while selling the explosive offense of the champions. And given the messy finish, Pretty Deadly was somewhat protected, hopefully allowing for a rematch in the future. Prince and Wilson remain absolute MVPs of the NXT tag team divisions. And that's really all there is to say on that. I'll give this about 2.5, 2.75 of a star for the effort. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, champions stay the champions. Briggs and Jensen still the UK tag champs.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fine match. I mean, it was a good battle here with these two. I mean, the right team eventually won here, so I'll give this about maybe another. I'll give this about 2.5, 2.75 of a star here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was Exum. This is A Kid, guys. I'm just gonna call him A Kid. I'm not gonna insult the intelligence of the fans. He went up against Dante Chen. A Kid won the match in 3 minutes. We don't really need to get into that. We're just gonna move right on along. Gets us to the main event, which was the Battle Royale, and the winner would receive a future shot at the NXT Women's Championship. The winner of the Battle Royale in 13 minutes and 13 seconds, and the new #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship, Zoe Stark. Yes, she is back. She wins the Battle Royale, and here's talking about comeuppance. And for Cora Jade, earlier in the fight, all the women targeted her, especially after the comments that she made earlier and throwing the belt in the garbage. She basically made herself a public enemy, and she slipped out of the ring only to get met up by Ivy Nile. And then she runs to the back, goes into the locker room area. So after Zoe Stark and Tiffany Fallon were the last two, Zoe was the last person in the ring. Here comes Cora through the crowd thinking, oh, I got you now. I'm going to be the #1 contender. She charges 360 over the top onto the floor, and the Rumble is over. Anthony Florio, Zoe Stark gets a shot at the NXT Women's title. She'll get a shot at Mandy Rose, and oddly enough, Mandy was the reason why Zoe was gone for almost 8 months.
Indeed, and it was a nice surprise to see her back, and an even nicer surprise to see her win. I mean, I'll be honest, I had Nikita Lyons winning this thing, but no. But as we always say when it comes to Battle Royals, every Battle Royal is a mess of a match in certain ways, and this was no different. There were too many women in this contest that lacked the necessary experience. However, the match smartly built around the key rivalries in the women's division. The closing stretch was surprisingly tight with multiple surprises. Nikita Lyons, as I said, was the odds-on favorite, including mine. And Tiffany Stratton eliminating her sets up an interesting rivalry down the line. Zoe Stark winning it all was well-deserved after a long recovery, and she is an ideal opponent to dethrone Mandy Rose for the Women's Championship. And Alba Fire, Lash Legend, they eliminated each other early, and their brawl continued outside. Wendy Chu used a pillow at ringside to save herself from an elimination a la Kofi Kingston. And Tiffany Stratton later blasted her with her own cup there to eliminate her. And then Katana Chance and Kaden Carter worked together to eliminate multiple women, but Ivy Nile got them in position for Nikita Lyons to eliminate them both. So, I'm going to give this about 3.25, 3.5 stars. I would say the second best fight of the night here. That McDonough-Grimes match I thought was a little better, but even though Battle Royals are tricky to rate, this was one of the better ones, and a surprise return and an equally surprise outcome. So I did not expect to see Zoe Stark in this, let alone Zoe Stark winning. But hey, one of the rare times we see unpredictability in WWE, and we always rip them for predictability. Well, unpredictability, the word of the day. So well done. So not much more to say. 3.25, 3.5. Michael Bullock, Zoe Stark, she's back. And now she's got an opportunity at Mandy Rose in the Women's Championship. Business has picked up in the women's division.
And a little bit of retribution, because like you said, Rose is the reason why Zoe Stark was out of action for a long time, but now they had a chance to win the NXT Women's title, but to get a little retribution on Mandy Rose. But the only problem, wherever Mandy Rose goes, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane aren't that far behind. So, yeah, 3.25, 3.5 stars. I mean, like you said, it started with basically every single woman in that match. I mean, basically just staring Cora Jade. I mean, basically they felt they were disrespected by her from the comment she made earlier. And yeah, then Cora later on trying to be sneaky and thinking she was going to win it, but she ended up getting a 360 and was eliminated. Yeah, karma comes back and bites you in the ass, bitch. So, I mean, I didn't expect to see Zoe Stark in here, but it's good to see her back. And now she's got an opportunity to become the NXT Women's Champion. So there's really nothing more to say. 3.25 is my rating. So let's get on to the overall thoughts on the show.
Anthony, it starts with you.
This is going to be a surprise here. I thought this was an overall very well done show. And I'm going to give this between 7 and 7.5 out of 10. This was a very, very good show last night. I'm going to be honest with you. Some great angle advancement. I mean, yes, there was, the silliness and the whole nine. I get that. And we understand that. We have to deal with it. But, I mean, based on what I saw, it's not just about star ratings for matches. It's also about storyline progression, and we take that very, very seriously, and I thought, like I said, this was a fantastic show, and I know I might get disagreed on, but I don't care. This was one of the better shows that I've seen personally, and it was a very nice show this week with the opener and the main event both working well, and NXT is turning back into a good show. Though there are still some parts that need ironing out, but what matters most is that they have developed people up and down the card rather than just in the main event, which is more than WWE can say. Now, just get things a little tighter, and you could have something here. Though they have already come a rather long way and should be proud of their success. So 7.5 for me. And if I'm the lone wolf on this one, I don't care. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, very good show last night, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, yeah, like you said, this was a good show. I mean, yeah, you still had some silliness, but it's not just the what we saw with the matches, but also with some of the other things that we saw on this show tonight, with especially that promo with Cora Jade. So 7 out of 10 for me. I'm not gonna go 7.5 like Florio. So Fletch, it's yours.
Partial disagreement. I'm gonna go 6.5. I thought it was all right. I thought it was good. It wasn't the perfect show, but I'll give it a reasonable rating. So nothing more to add. It's time for AEW, and we started it off, guys, with the first match of the night: Brody King versus Darby Allin. This was one of the highly anticipated matchups. Brody King wins the match in 12 minutes and 35 seconds. This was a hot opener. Hot start. Everybody was amazing in this matchup. But this was an expected victory. Brody King needed a win like this. They got to make the House of Black relevant. They got to make them an impact force. And Brody King had height, weight, strength, and every other advantage he had against Darby Allin. So just in a logical sense, this was the right decision and the right call. Nobody would have, if Brody would have lost this match, this would have hurt the House of Black more than it would have helped them. At least it solidifies the House of Black, gives them a big victory, a feather in the cap, and moves them on to something bigger and better down the line. Even though the rivalry is not over by a long shot, but you've got to make these kind of battles and these kind of fights, and this one was good enough. So winner was Brody King. I liked it. Anthony, it's yours.
Time of the fall?
Time of the fall was at I'm sorry. 12:35, and I'm giving it 3 to 3.5 stars.
3.5 stars for me. This was a hell of a way to start the show and a one-sided ass-kicking that put Brody King over as a monster heel. He was fantastic, just utterly demolishing Darby Allin en route to the biggest win of his still young AEW career. Brody King is trending upward, and performances like this with the support of creative and the efforts of a willing dance partner like Allin will only expedite the process. Put him in there with Wardlow and let those two big badasses beat each other up for the TNT Championship. Otherwise, book him against Miro and let them tear the house down in a battle of clubbing heavyweights. And speaking of the Redeemer, the story with the House of Black and the potential pairing with Sting and Allen will make for some intriguing television in the coming weeks. And what else is there for me to say on this? Solid 3.5 stars for the effort here. No question. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, great way to start.
Yeah, definitely a great way to start. 3.5 stars for me. I mean, yeah, this was a very solid opener. I mean, like you said, Brody King definitely needed this one. I mean, if he had lost, this would have definitely killed the momentum for the House of Black. And yeah, after what you saw, I mean, the Redeemer Miro came out and confronted the House of Black. So you wonder if we're gonna get a six-man or a trios match with the Redeemer, Sting, and Darby Allin against the House of Black. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So 3.5 stars. So let's move on, Fletch.
Next up we had was the interim AEW World Champion Jon Moxley and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. They went up against the Best Friends, Trent Barrera and Chuck Taylor. Yes, this is the Blackpool Combat Club versus Best Friends, and it was the Blackpool Combat Club winning it in 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Another 3.5 star match. The match was a very good, high energy tag match that explored the relationships Wheeler Yuta forged with his opponents and featured the hard hitting action synonymous with the AEW Interim World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley. And it doesn't matter if it's a tag match or a singles match. Anytime Jon Moxley is standing across the ring from you, it's a be a man fight, regardless of the stipulation. And I felt this was a be a man fight, tag team style. And there were times where it was MF style of match. Physical, smash mouth, hard hitting, in your face. And that's the wrestling that good old MF loves. Bullock and I, we love the technical stuff. But hey, I mean, be a man fights can be fun. And it's very rare we talk about it in tag team action. Usually we talk about be a man fight straight up one-on-one. But this was a be a man tag team match, no question about it. And that's mainly because of Jon Moxley being in that match. So another fantastic match here. 3.5 stars for this. So no question about it. So Michael Bullock, like I said, anytime you got Jon Moxley standing across the ring from you, whether it's a singles or a tag or whatever, it's a be a man fight every damn time.
What did you rate it?
3.5. What says you?
Yeah, I think this is another 3.5 stars for me. I mean, this was definitely, I mean, a definition of a be a man fight when you got the Blackpool Combat Club, especially with Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta, and what the Best Friends can bring. And this was another hard hitting match. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So Fletch, it is yours.
3.5 stars, total agreement here. Really nothing more to add. Next up we had was the Varsity Blondes. Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. They went up against Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus wins the match in 2 minutes. But that wasn't the talk after the match, guys. Jungle Boy makes his return to AEW. Luchasaurus steps in the way of Jungle Boy, gets right in his face. They had ourselves a face-to-face showdown, only for it to happen where the next thing that we know, they both Luchasaurus lets Jungle Boy by, and boys, he tried to get himself of Christian Cage, but Christian, like the scalded dog with the timber leg between I'm messing up he had the limber tail between the legs and ran out like a scalded dog. Yeah, I tried to do a lot of the JR isms and I almost botched myself on that one. So yeah, the tail between the legs, and he ran out, and yeah. So Jungle Boy is trying to get some of Christian Cage. I don't blame him for what he did. So yeah. So we got that. Do you guys want to talk about it? We could move right on along if you want to. Your call.
I will say one quick thing, and that is now that Jungle Boy is back, a match with Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, I believe, will go down at the earliest possible date. And I think that date might be September 4th at the All Out pay-per-view. Unless they decide to do it sooner, which they could, because there's still, a few weeks or so, about 5 or 6 weeks roughly. So, but great to see him back. I mean, and I don't know what else there is to say. And yeah, I mean, that eventual showdown is going to be a hell of a match and a star-making moment for Jungle Boy. And hey, he's got his partner back. So yeah, business has indeed picked up. So September 4th, All Out. I believe that's when they'll do it. But then again, they could do it sooner. You never know. So, but all I can say, MF, is as I give it back to you, those two, Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, if they do that at All Out or whenever they do it, regardless, it's going to be a banger whenever they do it, regardless.
All right. With that said, we're going to move on along. Then we had Cole Cutter going up against Ricky Stark for the FTW title. Ricky Stark successfully defends the title in 6 minutes and 5 seconds. It's up to you, Anthony. Do you want to? Oh, wait. So Ricky Starks after that grabs the mic and basically is like, you know what? I want to do this. So here we go. So the next thing we know, he's talking about it, and he comes out and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make an open challenge. Anybody who wants it? Well, someone else did. And let's just say the next time we see him, he could get cursed. He's very good, but very evil. Danhausen wants a shot at the FTW title. I say, let's do it, please. Dude, Danhausen, FTW champion? Oh, my God. I really just thought of that just now. Danhausen as FTW champion. It would be his first championship ever in wrestling. He's never won a title in his career. This would be the first time he wins it all. Oh, man. So, we're going to move on along. Next up, we had a whole bunch of promo stuff. Then we had Jay Cargill and Kara Hogan. They went up against Athena and Willow Nightingale. And when it was all said and done, Jay Cargill and Kara Hogan wins the match, 9 minutes and 25 seconds. I believe this goes to Michael Bullock. Bullock leads off on this one, or is it you, Anthony?
I think it goes to Bullock. I think.
All right,
I think it's me. Yep.
All right,
yep,
so
it's me.
it's yours, bro. So, Cargill and Hogan wins it in 9:25.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a fine match here. But once again, Jade Cargill shows why, as of this moment, I mean, and I don't know about you, Fletch, how you gonna feel about it, but no disrespect to the current AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa, she is the most dominant woman right now in AEW. I mean,
agreed.
I mean, with the undefeated streak that she's on. And I'll say this right now, she's going to hold on to that TBS title as long as she wants. I mean, until someone can really put her to the challenge, I just don't know if there's anybody who can stop her. But right now, like I said, no disrespect to Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill is the best woman right now in AEW, whether we like her or not. So. For this match, I'll give it about 2.25 for the effort here. So it's your Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2.25, 2.5. It was a solid match. The outcome was never in doubt. I'm sorry. Anytime Jade Cargill is out in action, she's 9 times out of 10 she ends up winning, unless Kira Hogan was going to be the one to eat the pin, because they're going to protect Jade any way they can. They want to protect her because she's the most dominant person right now in AEW, and they're treating her like something relevant. They're treating her like the best in the world in the women's division. They're treating her better than freaking Thunder Rosa. And that's sad. This is a TBS champion. That's a secondary belt, and you're treating her better than the AEW Women's World Champion? I'm not going on a rant. I would love to, but there's been enough rants tonight. Florio, go.
I'm right there with you.
I'm with him as well. I mean, you're treating Jade Cargill, who is the TBS champion, a secondary champion, like the biggest star, and you're treating her better than the current champion, Thunder Rosa?
If she was the world champion, it would make sense, but
yeah.
No.
If she was the world champion, it would make sense, but this year, no. Something stinks in here, and I don't like it.
Amen. Hey, you remember when back when CM Punk was the WWE champion, he was second fiddle to John Cena, for goodness sakes. So let's just call a spade, but I'm going to be a little nicer on this. I'm going to be a little more generous with my rating. I'm going to give it 3 stars because, this was, for me, the sleeper fight of the night, because it was a solid, action-packed match that saw Jade Cargill shake off a late match surge by Athena to pin Willow Nightingale. And Cargill shoving Athena into the ring steps protects her potential number 1 contender and leaves alive the possibility that they will clash somewhere down the line. Like maybe earliest possible date, once again, September 4th, All Out. Can't rule that out, just like with Jungle Boy and Christian. But the TBS champion improves every time out, and her willingness to expand her moveset is going to endear her to fans who may have been skeptical about her arrival in AEW, myself included, as well as keep her from every staling as a performer. Seeing as how AEW understandably wanted to protect Chris Statlander as well, it made sense to pull her from the match. Finally, can someone please get Willow Nightingale a contract? She's too damn good and has consistently shown up and shown out so many times that there really is no reason she is not regularly competing on international television. Make it happen, Tony Khan, before somebody else does. So that's all I can say on that, because that's how high I am on her. But other than that, 3 stars, sleeper fight of the night. And oh, by the way, Jermaine Dupri was out there. One of the greatest producers in the music business. Wow. So that's all I can say. So, anywho, 3 stars for this, and MF. Oh, this next match, not for the faint of heart, not for squeamish people, but MF, I mean, we got to address it anyway. Viewer discretion strongly advised during this next match, and MF, right up your alley.
It's barbed wire everywhere. It was the Painmaker, Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, and it was Chris Jericho winning the match in 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Absolute brutality in this match. It went all over the place. It was crazy. There was multiple run-ins. It was an insane match. But here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Not everybody is going to be sold on this match. Some people are going to think that this was too bloody, too barbaric, too gory. and others are going to love it because it was impact, it was action-filled, it was what it needed to be. It solved a lot of storylines, and we had a swerve. Anna Jay and Ty Conti are now reunited. They're going to be under this new umbrella, I guess, with the Jericho Appreciation Society now. So they're now part of the crew. Does that mean Anna Jay has left the Dark Order? Is that what just happened? We don't know. We don't know where Anna went. Or is she going to reunite with Ty in order to try to bring Ty and maybe Sammy Guevara to the Dark Order? I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out. All I know is Ty and Anna are together. They've reunited because they went after Ruby Soho. Ruby tried to get in. She tried to get her hands on Ty. And then Anna broke it up for a moment and then jumped Ruby right out of nowhere. Fans were shocked. So Jericho wins. Hell of a match. 3.5 stars to 3 3/4. Anthony, it's yours. Jericho wins in 13-10.
Fight of the night for me. I'm gonna give it 3.5 to 3 3/4. I feel this match got a little pressed for time. I would have liked to have seen this get a little more time, if I'm going to be honest with you. Especially a match of this magnitude, but they obviously didn't want to go too long. They obviously, wanted to, protect them in a sense. But match was fine for what it was, but it was overbooked to hell when it really should have been much more simpler. With Eddie Kingston beating the hell out of Chris Jericho and pinning him in the middle of the ring. Instead, we got a nonsensical heel turn from Anna Jay, who just last week appeared to be starting a feud with her former friend Ty Conti, a dozen guys running in, and a finish so unfulfilling, unsatisfactory, and nonsensical that you would have thought it came right out of Vince McMahon's writer's room. I believe Eddie Kingston was done dirty here, and the lame attempt to make up for the finish by having him toss Jericho into that barbed wire spider web on the outside was exactly what it appeared to be, a half-assed make good that felt flat. Chris Jericho is a star in an industry that is not exactly pumping out genuine main event attractions every week. You have to protect him. He is also a 30-year veteran of the business who has won world titles, headlined WrestleMania, and competed for the biggest promotions. He can afford a loss. Eddie Kingston, while beloved by fans and bulletproof for that reason, has to win one of these matches eventually. And I thought this was his moment. This should have been his Tommy Dreamer beats Raven in 1998 match. MF, you know all about that one. His defining win. Instead, he ate another pinfall at the hands of a guy who least needed it. And for what? To set up a match with Sammy Guevara? Maybe at All Out? The finish... Anna Jay's curious turn and Luchasaurus just piecing out of his partnership with Christian Cage in the havoc they have caused of late because his buddy popped back up created real questions surrounding booking as the company begins its march toward All Out on Sunday, September the 4th on Labor Day weekend. So, and that Labor Day weekend is going to be loaded. I mean, that pay-per-view, you got the WWE Clash at the Castle pay-per-view. And oh, by the way, that's when college football starts. If that's not a loaded holiday weekend, tell me what the hell is. But I'll have more on this in the overall review in a moment. But I'll give it 3.5 to 3 3/4. It was the fight of the night. But the match was great, yes. But I didn't like the finish, and you already know. And I love Chris Jericho. I respect and appreciate everything he's done for the business. And I am a fan of his, but tonight I honestly felt Eddie Kingston should have gotten the win here. So that's just how I feel about it. So 3.5, 3 3/4. But damn it to hell, Michael Bullock. Eddie Kingston deserves better than this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Florio, on this one. I mean, first of all, 3.5 stars. I mean, this was the fight of the night. And, yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Chris Jericho. I mean, one of the greatest one of the greatest performers in professional wrestling history. But did he really need that victory? Did he really need it, guys? I didn't think so. Eddie Kingston needed this more. I mean, this would have been the marquee win that he needed to really push himself to become a big time star. But yeah, I feel like I feel like Eddie Kingston got lowballed in this one. He should have won this match, not Chris Jericho. And with just so much mayhem, I mean, it was felt like something out of WWE. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, as I give it to you for overall review, as far as I'm concerned, Eddie Kingston should have won this match, not Chris Jericho.
I agree with that. But I will say this. A lot of people are going to be a little angry with you two tonight, especially how you're calling a thing for AEW and saying that this ending feels like it's coming from the writers of WWE. Like, you want to talk about slapping the faces to the AEW marks? Oh my God, did you guys start it? But you know what? I agree. I have to agree with that because you guys are absolutely right. Eddie Kingston was done dirty so bad it wasn't even funny. I don't think Jericho needed the win. Kingston needed it more. And if I'm Eddie, I'm pissed off as well. I'm pissed off at Tony Khan. I'm pissed off at because there's no writing crew. There's no writers in AEW. There's producers. There's the booker. You got that. But as far as the outcome goes, normally when it comes to promos, there are no promo guys. There is no script. There is no nothing. They probably tell you, say what you will. They'll give you bullet points. But the thing is, everything else is all from the dome. That's what I've been told. That even Jeff Hardy made an interview not so long ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I was shocked that there was no writers." So that tells you everything you need to know. But yeah, absolutely, man. What the hell? Nothing more to say. So let's just move on to the overall review. It was a good show. I gotta give it about 7. I think the last match kind of hurt it a little bit. So 7 out of 10. Anthony, it's yours.
This was another 7.5 show, and hopefully what is to come in the following handful of shows cleans up some plot holes and leaves a better taste in the conclusion of this major gimmick match main event. And I mean, I don't know what else there is for me to say on it. I mean, we had it was your typical AEW Dynamite, good matches, but unfortunately it was marred by the ending of that match and the WWE and TNA like overbooking in that. So, but it is what it is. But and if I offended anybody, well, I apologize for that. It's just my professional opinion. It's not a personal thing, obviously. So I'm just telling it like it is. So that's all there is to say on that. So
no apologies. You don't need to apologize. You're just voicing your opinion about it. And besides, it wasn't like you're just giving your thoughts. It was not like you were directing anything at anyone.
Not at all.
Don't apologize, Florio. Hell with that.
Okay.
No. No, you're good.
Will do. All right. So with that being said, 7.5. I stand by what I said, and that's it. So not much more to say here. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 7.5 for me. I mean, it was good. I mean, it could have been better, but like you said, I think the ending to that main event really took something away from it. I mean, and that's why I criticize them, but I stand by what I said as well. So, yeah, 7.5. Let's put a bow on this edition of Wednesday Night Madness.
Well, there is one last thing I need to do, guys. I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to start it off. It is with the G1 Climax Tournament, and I'm only doing the tournament matches. I'm not doing anything else. So we started out In Block C, the tournament started with Aaron Henry versus with Hiroshi Tanahashi. The first bomb of the tournament, Tanahashi loses to Aaron Henry in 11 minutes and 11 seconds via pinfall. 2 points for Henry on that victory. Then we had Will Ospreay versus El Fantasmo. Will Ospreay wins the match in 15:06. Then we had Jay White versus Sanada. Jay White won his match in 18:07. And then Kazuchika Okada beats Jeff Cobb 21 minutes and 30 seconds. That's via pinfall. Then we had in night 2, Tenshi went up against Tomohiro Ishii. Tenshi wins the match, won it in 15:21. Then we had Taryanu versus Jonah. Taryanu, the great, the incredible and very smart producer of Chaos, wins the match via countout. Basically using Jonah and his partner as a bunch of dummies. They tried to squash him like a grape. He got out of the way just in the nick of time, got it back in the ring by the 20 count, before the 20 count to win the match. Then we had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenta. Zack Sabre Jr. wins the match in 21 minutes and 33 seconds. And in the final match of the evening, Shingo Takagi versus Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson beats Shingo 21 minutes and 33 seconds in that match. So then we had the next fight. This is for night 3. Yuguro Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp, beats David Finlay, winning the match in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. Then we had Tama Tonga going up against Chase Owens. Tama Tonga wins the match in 13 minutes and 18 seconds. Then the next match we had was Bad Luck Fale versus the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. Bad Luck Fale wins it via countout in 10 minutes and 46 seconds. And then we have Roti Gato versus Tesulia Naito. Gato beats Naito in an upset. 22 minutes, 41 seconds. Yeah, that happened. So where we stand right now, as it pertains to the blocks, right now, as it pertains, going into the second round, because we're gonna have second round of action very soon, but everybody has already gotten their matches in. So here it is. Okada, Yano, and Fale all have 2 points. Lance Archer lost his first match. That's in Block A. In Block B, Jay White, Takashi, and Tama Tonga all with victories. Chase Owens win the victory as well. In the third, Zack Sabre Jr. and Adam Henry and Gato, they all got victories. They all have victories as of right now. Will Ospreay, Juice Robinson, the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, they all have 2 points right now. Remember, 2 points for a victory anyway it is. If there's a time limit draw, you get a 1 point. All these matches, I believe, are all 15 or 30-minute time limit. 30-minute time limit falls. So that's how that goes. And for you fine folks out there, the next time they do it will be on the 23rd in Ato, Tokyo. And just to give you the heads up, it will be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Adam Henry. Yoshihashi makes his debut in the tournament in Group D. He finally gets involved. He goes up against Shingo Takagi. Karushika Okada goes up against his fellow buddy Taryanu. That's a chaos matchup. That could be funny. Yano and Okada. Okada's very stern and very strong. He's no nonsense. Taryanu is one of the goofiest comedians in the group. So that's gonna be a clash of styles. Because you got Okada, who's very, very serious, and Yano not so much. And then you got Tomohiro Ishii. He goes one-on-one with the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jay White. That's going to be on the 23rd. I believe that is Saturday. Saturday the 23rd? Yes, Saturday. So Saturday the 23rd from Ato, Tokyo in Japan. The Ato City General Gymnasium is the site for this show. So, guys, what I'm going to do is next week I'll give you another round of updates. So we'll do that. And that's it for tonight. So, Anthony Floyo, come on in. Give us the rundown for what we got on TXN Sports World tomorrow night at 10 p.m.
Very good. 10 p.m. tomorrow night. TXN Sports World. It's very simple. All we're going to be doing, we will be recapping the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. MF, you will grace us with another supersized Big Three basketball recap. 2 weeks worth of recaps, and then a preview of this week, obviously, because MF was out last week due to illness. But I know MF will be ready for tomorrow, and then in the main event, we will recap the ESPY Awards that actually just concluded a short time ago. So we'll run down all the winners, and I got to question a couple of them. I'll be honest with you. So you'll know when I announce the winners tomorrow. So Home Run Derby and All-Star Game recaps in baseball, MF's supersized Big Three basketball report, and then from there the ESPY Award recap, and that's our show for tomorrow. And I do want to make some quick notes before MF wraps it up here. The 4 weeks following, we're gonna have to put our heads together as far as content goes for July 28th and the first 3 weeks of August. But I want to confirm that on Thursday, August 25th, TXN Sports World, that's going to be our regular season finale for our regulation shows. And on that show, we're going to preview the college football and NFL seasons right there. And then Thursday, mark it down, Thursday, September 1st, TXN Sports World, the premiere of the newly named TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. That'll be on September 1st. And then Saturday, September 10th, will be the season premiere of the newly named TXN Sports World NFL Saturday. So just wanted to get that off my chest while I had the platform. So 10 p.m. tomorrow night, Tone 25. You don't want to miss it. So not much more to say. MF, take it home.
All right, and that's it, guys. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night for TXN Sports World. For Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bliss, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you